Hello everyone, this is Luxury PL38. Today's video I would like to talk a little bit about the price increase from Dior next week and also to showcase my entire bags collections. I actually plan to do a very short video talking about the price increase. However, I ended up taking out all my Dior handbags collections and I decided to simply just showcase everything. And these are my entire handbags collections. As you can see, it is not as extravagant as the Chanel one, but I do own quite a few of the different styles from Dior, and the price increase is gonna be next week on the 2nd of July. It is gonna be in Canada. However, I assume it will be worldwide, and the date itself might be different a day or 2 days earlier or even later. But with the price increase from Dior, we all expected that and we'll see it coming because Chanel did a dramatic price increase, Louis Vuitton did a price increase as well, so we all expect Dior to actually follow them. And being June, this is gonna be the first price increase from Dior this year. The last price increase they did was towards the end of last year. I believe it was in October, and they have not did a price increase ever since. But with the price increase from Dior, I believe it might actually be similar to what they did last time. It will probably gonna be between 5 to 10% depending on your on the different style that they offered. I'm not sure whether this is gonna be applied throughout the whole handbags and the SLG as well, but the price increase, I would say it might be closer to 5 to 10%. And with the medium classic flat, which is the most popular Dior bags, I would say there might be a slight higher price increase. Again, these are my predictions, and the price increase, how much it will be, there are no justifications or there are no confirmed rate at the moment. It is just speculations, but there will be a price increase on the 2nd of July in Canada for sure. And if they're gonna follow Chanel price increase, the Lady Dior might increase a little bit higher. I will talk about the price adjustment a bit later on the video. Let me just showcase my entire Dior collections briefly. I did not put an SLG here. I did own 1 or 2 Dior SLG. So going back into my handbag collections, I have 2 of the 30 Montagne. That's the box one in the monogram, and that's the regular size in the Indian rose leather, and behind that is the saddlebag from Dior, and that's in the smooth leather, and that's the regular size. As you can see, the strap is still wrapped up. I have not used that. And next to that, I have the Lady Dior in the small size. They call it My Lady Dior. And behind that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 medium size Lady Dior. I have 1 in gray, 1 in patent red, and 1 in the blush pink. Those 2 are in the lambskin. The one next to the blush pink is in the exotic python Lady Dior bag. Behind that, I have 3 book tote. I'm just gonna zoom the camera a little bit further so you can have a look. I have the small book tote in the Phoenix Lunar New Year collections, limited editions. Behind that, I have the regular Palm Spring in the Flamingo collections. I believe that was last year for winter collections. And next to that, I have the classic burgundy monogram. And I just want to mention those 3 are actually purchased from Pre-Love, and that's the satchel bag with the monogram that looks more like a Speedy 25. As you can see, the vintage from the vintage bag Dior actually have their monogram decades ago, but it has suddenly become very popular in the past couple of years, the monogram. But they have been doing monogram for decades, and that is purchased from a local consignment shop. Behind that is the B Dior bag that has been discontinued. That was purchased from Factory Collective. Behind that is the Python Lady Dior that is purchased from a local consignment shop. So those three bags are actually purchased from a pre-loved market. The rest of them are purchased brand new from Dior boutique. I did actually own another Lady Dior bag in the patent blue. However, I actually sold that a couple of months ago to an overseas buyer. I do have pictures on my Instagram account, and I also showcased that particular bag on my YouTube channel. I will link down below that particular Lady Dior bag in blue, in patent blue. So if you're interested to have a look, you can click the links down below. So these are my entire Dior bags collections. The only one that's missing was the one that I've sold a couple of months ago, the patent blue. Going back to the price increase that is coming soon on the 2nd of July, next Thursday in Canada, I can only assume it will be worldwide, and also the date might be 1 or 2 days earlier or after, depending on the locations of where you are. However, with the history of Dior price adjustment, it is usually between 5 to 10%, and I am just going to give you a brief summary of the current price, and also the current price at the moment is going to be an estimate simply because I do not have the current price. I do have the older price adjustment before the latest price because that's when I purchased a lot of this bag. The 30 Montan box bag, that is 3,500 Canadian dollars, the small one. The regular size is 4,500 Canadian dollars. I believe those two has been increased, so the box bag is closer to 4,000 and the 30 Montan is closer to 5,000. And next week, with the price increase on the 2nd of July, I believe that it's going to be over 4,000, the box bag, and the 30 Montan is going to be closer to mid 5,000 Canadian dollars. The saddle bag was actually purchased around 4,500 Canadian dollars. There was a price increase late last year, so that brings it up to closer to 5,000. However, with next week on the 2nd of July, the saddle bag is probably going to be up to 5,000, over 5,000 to mid 5,000 Canadian dollars. The small Lady Dior bag is very popular. It was purchased before the price increase last year, and I purchased it just under 5,000 Canadian dollars. It is now over 5,000, and with the price increase on the 2nd of July next week, I believe that's gonna be very, very close to 6,000, if not higher 5,000 Canadian dollars with the small one. The medium 1, 2, 3, and 4, the medium Lady Dior bag, which is currently closer to 6,000 Canadian dollars. I believe next week's price increase on the 2nd of July, it will push it up to over 6,000 Canadian dollars. However, I still find that price reasonable simply because it is a classic medium Lady Dior bag, and if you compare prices with other brand that is over 6,000 Canadian dollars, you are looking at the Louis Vuitton. I believe the Capuchin is actually over 6,000 Canadian dollars. However, the Lady Dior is a much older and much classier, and also a much more reliable style because it has been around for decades, comparable to the Louis Vuitton Capuchin, which is a fairly new style, but in terms of price wise, that one is actually gonna be the same or very close to the Capucine price with the price adjustment next week. And the Chanel 6,000 over Canadian dollars will be most probably even cheaper than the small classic flat. So the price increase next week for the medium classic flat that pushes it up over 6,000 Canadian dollars, it is still cheaper than a classic Chanel in small sizes. It will be more expensive than the minis from the Chanel line. However, it is going to be priced very accurately to the current market if it pushes over 6,000 Canadian dollars. The book tote behind the small one is actually purchased 3,600 Canadian dollars. That was before the price increase. However, with next week's price adjustment, the small book tote might actually be closer to 4,000, if not over 4,000 Canadian dollars, and that brings the regular ones, it's gonna be pushed to closer to over 4,000 Canadian dollars as well. And those two larger ones are the original book tote. When they were released, it was in that size, and I believe even with the price adjustment next week that pushes the book tote to over 4,000 Canadian dollars, it is still priced reasonably. But however, if you're looking at around 4,000, over 4,000 Canadian dollars, I think you should look at your alternative, such as a Chanel tote. The Chanel default tote, or even the Chanel smaller default tote, will be priced very similar to that price range. You can also look at On The Go from Louis Vuitton. It will actually be priced more expensive than Louis Vuitton On The Go because of the price increase next week, but the craftsmanship of the book tote, it is not comparable to any of those. I believe, in my personal opinion, Dior book totes craftsmanship are second to none because of the stitching, and because of the craftsmanship, I believe that is a piece of art. So hopefully this explained to you, and hopefully it will give you a guide to the price increase. And I do apologize if the video is a little bit longer, because it is also showcasing my entire Dior collections. It is by no means as extravagant as my Chanel handbags collections, but I believe it is pretty reasonable. And I would like to add 1 or 2 more items in my collections, and I do have a couple of these available on my Instagram, because I did realize I probably have too many book totes. So I'm trying to let go of one of the book totes, and I'm trying to let go of the Dior bags, and I might consider letting go of one of my classic medium Lady Dior bag as well. I have not used the blush light pink, and I have not used the saddle bag. I have not used the gray one as well. So those 3 are still in brand new conditions, and I'm probably gonna let go either the gray or the blush pink. But if you do have any comments, please do so in the sections below. And if you want to have a closer look at each individual bags, I will link it down below. And once again, thank you so much for watching.